Free Lunch with The Real Free. Another episode. And today I have the lovely Mrs. Free, or Mrs. Isis Elliott, for this episode. And it's, as I said, Free Lunch with The Real Free. Another podcast with some free food for your soul.
Hey.
For your soul. So listen, we're going to talk about a few things today. What we're going to run down is obviously what all of you have been running down, secretly or publicly. Either way, we all been doing the quarantine life. And then we're going to be talking a little bit about forgiveness. Who's it harder for you to forgive? Is it your friends and family? Or friends or family, or strangers? Are strangers easier to forgive? I don't know. Lastly, we are going to cross ways with the accountability partner.
Ooh.
What is the accountability partner? Some of y'all might have accountability squads, teams.
Hey, gang.
Is more better than less? Who knows? What is an accountability partner? What makes the best kind of accountability partners? I don't know. We'll talk about it on this episode. So, off rip, quarantine life has been pretty good for me. How's quarantine life been for you?
Over it.
Secretly, she loves it too.
Over it.
Secretly, she loves it.
It's a wrap.
She loves quarantine.
Dead it.
She loves.
We're done.
She loves any quarantine.
I want a fighter.
She loves any quarantine where I'm there.
Rona needs to run me
If
my fair
quarantine, if I had the kind of job like public servants, those who are doctors or work in law enforcement, or somebody who still had to be at work, if I had that kind of job, quarantine life would be horrible for her. She would hate it. But she gets to have me every single day.
That's true. But like anyone who's been married, I mean, after a while, you know those times where you get to get in your car and just take your break because you like, I'm tired of cooking.
You're lying right now. You're lying to the beat. So you
First
saying
off,
you need a break? Hold on. Are you saying?
First off,
are you saying you need a break?
Every wife needs her break. Her little. We don't always go to the grocery store. Sometimes we purposely go to the grocery store, not because it's not in the house, because that's our moment to just go get away. If we can find any excuse to just take a little break.
She is lying.
Listen.
So you don't get a quick break when I'm busy working?
That's not the time I want to take my break, though.
However, you have a bunch of that time.
Anyway.
Okay. So what's the best thing you like about quarantine?
Okay.
There are some good things.
There are. So the best thing I like about quarantine, I feel like I do get to spend a lot more time with my husband, with my family. I get to, and the resting part. Like, I feel like I get to catch up on some rest because I feel like I'm always going all the time. So that's the best part. That and being able to hang out with hubby. And
the best part of quarantine life for me has been to be able to focus because I'm in the house and I'm not going anywhere, or I can't go anywhere. I get to focus more on what it is that God has tasked me with, visions, ideas I have. That's the best part for me there. And then obviously the family piece. I think that. I mean, if you know me, it goes without saying. At least I always want to be with my family, and my, in a perfect world, I'd be able to work, a quote unquote 9 to 5 or my everyday from home. So I would love that.
That part hasn't been bad. You know what else is bad? Okay, so here's the other thing, just real quick. The other thing that I can't stand, or I haven't liked about it, I didn't realize just how much appreciation I have for my nail tech. So the fact that I have a broke nail, I have on nails that we are like, I know, I'm so shamed. I'm so shamed right now. I'm so shamed.
I'm shamed.
You talk about I am 3 to 4 weeks past a refill right now. That part.
But I held your toenails down though.
That was before all of this though, honey.
No, that was last week.
No, that was for my birthday.
Or 2 weeks ago. It was still...
That
It was
was
still
about 3
quarantine
weeks
time.
ago. Either way, that has nothing to do with it.
can't
I
do-
usually don't
can't
start
do.
getting my nail. First off, all the women, we usually don't start the feet we care about, but in the winter, that like winter air, we be like, listen, our feet not out, whatever. It's when the spring comes. See, now is the time where I need to all the hibernation has been doing in the growth. I need to go get all that all that checked out.
Oh,
Summertime, spring, all that's coming. But yeah, I miss those things.
My worst part, if there's any, I really honestly, I don't really feel like I have really a horrible part of quarantine. I'm sorry. I almost feel guilty saying it because I feel like so many other people do. But if I had to find something that like I don't like about quarantine, is obviously probably being able to socialize or see and visit the people that but I'm one of those people that I don't have in a regular day or, outside of all this quarantine and coronavirus stuff. I didn't have the kind of free time or downtime where I'd be going to people's houses and visiting people anyway. So, I mean, or not a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say,
you know what I mean?
But it's like sporadic. Like there's times where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go check up on this
Yeah,
person,
yeah,
or hey, I'm
yeah.
gonna stop it. So
On
I
the way
think
home
it's the
from work
option.
or
It's the
something.
having the option. If
Yeah,
anything, we both can be homebodies, but it's the option of being able to be like, hey, babe, let's go here, or let's go do
Yeah,
this.
it's like the saying, you don't
Something
miss
like
something
that.
until it's gone.
Right.
So since you can't
it's
now,
those things.
now you're like,
those
oh
things.
man, I wish I
Like,
could.
come on, we like date nights. We will go like on Tuesdays, discount nights, and be like, we're gonna go get some popcorn and everything. Like I miss that.
Or even going
stuff.
to get the oxtails, yo.
Yeah, like I'm even
Yes.
afraid to eat out. Like that
Can't
stopped.
even-
I'm just like, it's the options. You find out that a lot of things you really have much more appreciation for. So
And quarantine life has been excellent for just my son.
oh yeah, he's
Me being able to just work with him in his school. It's because I know he's capable of doing so many things. That's been my biggest positive, is I know that he's capable of doing so much better in school, and it just takes the one-on-one time that I know only I would be able to do at home, but not ever being able to get around to it because I would obviously, before they sent everybody home and working from home, I would be at my full-time job, then come home and be tired and not have the time or the strength left at the end of the day to maybe work one-on-one with him with whatever he learned in school earlier that day. And he would already be burnt out. So he already had a full day of school. So he doesn't want to come home and then also now do, remedial things or more work with dad. But now, because I'm not coming home from a full day at work, I'm kind of doing my work throughout the day and I'm working alongside of him. And it's just me and him. He doesn't have the distractions from other kids in the classroom.
Yeah.
I'm able to nail it with him. So
yeah, it's increased our family time, definitely.
Yeah, like we got the we don't have Netflix anymore, but we have been the Amazon. We have Amazon
We
and
have
Amazon.
my god sister's Netflix account.
What are you doing, man? You
Oh.
trying to incriminate me on?
We don't have my god sister's Netflix account.
So moving on. So we do have a paid Amazon account that we pay for monthly.
Yes, we do.
Amazon Prime. We get to watch movies on that.
Yes,
Stream movies.
We do.
So we watch some good movies there.
Yes.
But otherwise, quarantine has been not too bad. It's done us well. I mean, other than that, I think we haven't had anybody that we know directly or family who has been sick, thank God, during the quarantine. But we definitely have heard from, friends of ours who they have family. So it's the impact is getting closer and closer to us. And by the grace of God,
that's been
we're
scary.
hoping it doesn't get any closer. But I mean, like, I don't know, when you do go out, because I have my wife do all the going out, what's the, and I meant to ask you today before you went out, what's the number one thing that you are doing or paying attention to when you do leave the house to make sure you're not coming back in the house in bringing like any contaminants or
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the grocery stores and everything got you like on lock, and they're making sure you're not able to touch them. But like that's why I don't even leave the house.
I mean, I think for me, my biggest thing is I have a get in, get out mindset. So I'm not there to browse around. Mm-hmm. This isn't. I know I'm there to grab what I need to grab and get out. I have my wipes and my wipes and my Purell when I go out. So because I don't want to cross-contaminate, I don't wear gloves, just because you would literally have to change your gloves when you touch everything. Exactly. So I just feel like I'd be wasting a bunch of gloves. So I have my disinfectant wipes to wipe down any carriages or anything that I'm using to hold my groceries, and I Purell my hands like a lot. I don't touch my face. I make sure that if I'm walking in an aisle, like, I don't know why, but some people, when we're in stores, which is why now they've decreased the amount of people that can be in a store at the same time, but there will be like 15 people in one aisle. And I'm like, guys, the whole point of this social distancing thing. So I will, try to make sure it's only me and maybe somebody else in the aisle together. And it's really just a straight shooter. Like, get what I get, keep it moving, disinfect my hands, disinfect the steering wheel, come in the house, I spray myself down after that, take my clothes off, spray like my coat down and everything, the doorknobs and stuff. So I'm really just trying to be careful when I go in and out, but I don't go to the store daily. Like, if anything, I think I probably go to a store once a week, and because I know it's going to be few in between and everything, I try to get as much as I can that's going to hold us over. So it's been pretty good. And we've been doing pretty well.
We even have a pit bull, 1-year-old, and we even make him, he has to get his feet wiped down before he comes back in the house.
So I started that. I was like, listen.
You gotta pack of wipes, disinfectant wipes, sitting at the door.
He's like, where did this come from?
Before he comes back in the house.
Where did this come from? But yeah, he cannot come back in his paws. Boom, give me that paw. Give me the paw. We don't know.
That's good stuff, though.
We don't know. So, yeah.
That's good. So, speaking of in light of social distancing and just time, as it speaks to distancing from family, I thought it'd be good to talk about just some of the distancing from family for a lot of people has been a healthy thing, a good thing, because of previous strife in family or issues, and certain family members have needed to take a break from one another.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, distance could be also a tool that helps relationship, sometime apart or away. So that got me thinking about just this whole like forgiveness thing, and really kind of chewing on the idea of does it matter to us, or is it more difficult to forgive someone like family because they're close to us, rather than our friends? Like, is it harder, or is there a differentiation, for you? Like, is it family and friends? Is that kind of in one group, and then there's strangers, or, your coworkers or everyone else? Or, is there levels to how easily or difficult it is for you to forgive family versus your friends? Because I know just some friends are as close as your family, so they kind of, it's kind of a family and friends group when it comes to forgiveness for some people. For me, I think I do kind of the family and friends group versus everybody else. That's kind of how I separate the two groups of people. And I think for me, forgiveness is pretty easy thing to do in a general sense, but it is harder for me, I think, to forgive family and friends, people who are close to me. If they really, really if I found out they did me wrong, that would offend me far greater than, let's say, a coworker at work that I found out did me wrong or lied on me or.
Yeah. I think truthfully, I struggle with forgiving and like, I can hold a grudge. I feel like for me, I'm probably going to say it's easier for me to. That's interesting. I almost want to say I feel
well,
like
first, like, what are your groups? Like, so do you group family and friends, and then there's everybody else when it comes to just like your key like groups of people, like who would like. What's that?
Well,
for you?
I mean, yeah, like because who are we grouping them against? Like I have,
because I know
the associates where like
yeah,
there's that whole thing, you know what I mean? Where I mean that's
like the everybody else. I mean,
yeah,
kind of.
So and I feel like I have those friends that I consider family members. So for me, I don't necessarily put them in a friend category, although we might not be blood related or related through marriage.
Yeah.
But they're still considered family to me. And then I have those, like those girlfriends, you know, friendships and everything. So that's how, like, I separate my categories.
So with your separation, like, what's, you said in general, forgiveness could be hard for you, but if either one of those individuals in those categories were to offend you or do you wrong, which category of people would be the hardest to forgive?
I feel like my friends, it would be the hardest.
Yeah, like me, right?
Yeah, because, again, I think for family, like my family, because
you expect more.
That's true, but I also feel like in this situation, I didn't grow up with a lot of my family members to really get that like deep connection, you know what I mean? So I think sometimes I wonder what type of relationships I will fall into, but I do expect more from my family members,
people who know you,
you know. But I
feel like if you know me, here's the catchphrase: if you know me, you should know better.
Oh gosh, but that's the thing, there's a lot of people who do know you,
don't steal it,
but might not necessarily know better. Like, I have family members who
know
me,
how can they know you?
Necessarily...
They don't know you then.
But see, that's the thing. I think
light bulb.
I think not necessarily. I think it depends on where maybe that relationship changed. So, like, growing up, there might be that different relationship.
Oh, so they don't know you anymore.
So there might be that part where at a time that you have maybe grown in a certain area, maybe they're not around or maybe they moved. So they might know that older version of you, not that necessarily new you or that mature you or whatever, you know what I mean? So sometimes there's that part. But I think just with friendships, because I so strongly, like, I feel like I have a lot, well, not a lot of friendships, but I feel like my main friendships are people I consider family. So it's very hard if they do something to me, because I do have that, but I think it's also that part of me that's disappointed, you know, and that comes with the expectation and everything. Because I feel like my family, I don't necessarily have that relationship with, you know. Or
what about your church family? When it comes to the church folk, do they get a pass because they're your church family?
Nah,
like is it forgiveness a little easier for them because you know that they know you should be forgiving?
Yeah.
Forgiving? So does that factor in? Like, are you more forgiving when it comes to church folk?
See, but
because you don't want to be seen as non-church folk.
But here's the part that's
like, you're not acting Christ-like.
I feel like it depends on the situation as well. Like, you know, there's some situations where I'm also the person where I will talk with you. I'll talk about it. I'll be like, hey, you know, so this kind of happened and whatever, and we can get past it. But I think it depends on what the situation is. Like, if there's something that comes back that's some truth to, like, I found like you stabbed me in the back, or you've been like, you know.
Let's just say the most common did you wrong offense.
What's the most common did you wrong offense?
Lying on you. Somebody just lied. Let's just say somebody just lied on you.
See, that's...
You found out one of the church folk lied on you.
See, that's hard.
Versus your coworker.
Okay. See, that's the
your
part.
Coworker lied, and the church mother lied on you.
Oh God.
Who's harder to forgive? The church mother lying on you, or your coworker lying on you?
This is so bad because I'm so like a youth leader.
Who? That ain't even relevant.
I know, but because we talk about forgiveness a lot.
Exactly.
But I feel like it's, you know what? I'm going to be more offended with the church mother. It's going to be a little harder for me to get to that place. A coworker.
Why are you more offended with the church mother?
Huh?
Why are you more offended with the church mother? Because she church folk?
Well, no, not necessarily. For one, she's older. If you're a church mother, I'm going to think that you're someone that's older in the church that most people...
So you should double know better.
Yeah, I feel like, come on now. You the church mama.
You should
like,
double
you don't
know
want
better.
everybody go to. You done been here for some generations now. You don't watch other people kids grow up.
Nah, man. You
but
can't,
like
you can't do that.
But here's the thing. But like a coworker, I feel like it's more so I didn't put you on a high expectation regardless for if something like that comes back to me. I'm so shocked, like, oh my gosh.
So we put church folk on a high expectation.
I feel like
which I think I do sometimes.
I feel like I possibly would do that if it's a church like that church family type of thing. You see what I mean? But
everybody in the body of Christ is supposed to be a church family.
Either way, God is still working out in that area because I struggle.
No, but that's good.
In general.
You know what's good about that comes out is because just it coming out how you differentiate between the coworker and the church family member. They should like know better, or you having high expectation. And I think for a lot of us church folk, not only do we have high expectation of our fellow church, church folk, but we people who are looking at us as church folk, as believers as well, they have a high expectation of us, and I think in a way I believe that's appropriate. I think we're called to be light.
Yeah.
In the dark, so I think we should in some way.
Yeah.
Kind of rise to that.
Yeah.
But the only thing that kind of makes you feel uncomfortable is I don't like. Because I think it's a fine line between, appropriately rising to that expectation, right? That God has called us to be the light in this world. But it's a fine line between that and then putting church folk on a pedestal as if they're not human.
Right.
Like, that's that careful.
Different. That's different. Because I don't put anyone on a pedestal because I feel like at the end of the day, like, we all fall short somewhere. Yes.
But that's not really at the front of your mind.
It's
when
not.
You get at odds with another church person.
The difference is my relationship. So I'm looking at how I am looking at that relationship. If I don't have a relationship with that church mother, then I can treat that church mother just like I treat the coworker. You see what I mean? Where it's like, well, all right, yeah. I don't, it is what it is. I didn't really expect, but it's different if I have a relationship with that church mother. Gotcha. Same thing with that coworker. It would be different if I have a relationship with this coworker. Like we go have lunch together. We meet up to hang out after work. Like I call you, you call me. We build, because there are coworker relationships where you build friendships through that. So I think it's different to be like, dang, you did me like that. Like I clocked in for you, sis, one time. I covered for you when the boss was like, where were you at? And I was like,
I held you down.
And you gonna go lie on me like that? So I think that's different.
That's true.
So it's definitely based on the relationship. I will say I do want to say here's the reason why I struggle with forgiveness. Even though I'm working on it.
Hey man, you gotta be putting your business out there.
No. Because I think...
I'm trying to let you know you ain't gotta put your business out there. You won't put your business out there. Here's the thing.
I try really... You know why?
This wasn't the put your business out episode.
I fight.
That's next episode.
Anyway, I fight for the relationship. So I feel like What do
you mean the relationship?
If I see you in my circle, so my family circle, my friendship circle, whatever it is, if I see you in that way, I will say I feel like I do my absolute best for if I can easily forgive, I do try to work through those things too. But I think it has to be something where if it's like this repetitive kind of thing where I find myself constantly having to forgive something, it extends like that will, I'm more resistant to do so, depending on...
It's kind of wearing on that capacity for patience.
Yeah, like at this point, it's like, I don't know if I can't, because now it hurts even more, where it's just like I find myself in this situation, a lot regularly, or more than I would want to. So,
I feel you. Hey, listen, it is free lunch with the Real Free make sure you guys follow us everywhere at Free Lunch. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can follow the YouTube channel at The Real Free. Also, make sure you like this video, share this video if you feel like it is fruitful conversation. Now, you got to give the people some fruit. So, the fruit, what's the takeaway so far in this paradigm of like just forgiveness, this world of forgiveness? I think we could take away a couple things that were mentioned. One is that we all fall short, right?
You took mine.
I took yours.
And I said it.
That's what I'm saying.
But I was going to say that was my fruit.
Okay. No, but
Why
I'm
recapping. Your fruit, that was your fruit.
I'm recapping.
That ain't right.
I probably didn't mention any great one. Hey, I'm taking yours. The takeaway, we all fall short. I think that was the biggest takeaway.
That, and besides the falling short,
I mean, if you're going to struggle with forgiveness, and I mean that in the across the board.
No, absolutely.
So not we all fall short, meaning so we should be understanding no matter what person or relationship you are. I mean also understanding we all fall short to say, because of that, we also know that we're liable to offend in the same ways that we don't like as well. Like we might say, I'm not a liar. I'm not a person who lies.
Absolutely.
I often say that. I'm not a person that lies. But I would never say, I'll never lie.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I have a healthy understanding that in this flesh,
right,
given the right circumstance and pressure and time and all the right pieces line up,
right, I
could find myself doing something that I never thought I did. But that's exactly what Apostle Paul is talking about, right? When he's saying, I will to do good, but this evil is present. Like, so Absolutely. I have this warring on the inside. So,
which is why I was going to say, like, and that's the same thing with setting expectations or certain people on a pedestal, like how you said about the mother of the church versus the coworker. At the end of the day, just because it is someone who, it could be a pastor, you know, it could be somebody who we really look up to and everything. And sometimes we tend to put them on a pedestal. And then when they disappoint us, we are so upset with them. But the thing is that they should have never been placed on that pedestal in the first place.
Correct.
So that also falls in line with the whole, you know, no one, hey, we all fall short. We all slip up.
That's a fact.
Everybody is we're all gonna disappoint someone.
Because we all fall short, we all slip up. This is exactly why, this brings me to our last point, is why we all, I think, could benefit from having accountability partners.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because we all fall short, because we know we could always stumble, I think that's one of the biggest nuggets or keys, or benefits, rather, for having an accountability partner, is someone that can help you get back up when you have that stumble.
Absolutely.
Or when you find yourself in a flawed place. I mean, what's another benefit of the accountability partner, would you say? Someone to help you back up when you fall. I mean, probably fall prevention is also
true.
a benefit.
You know, the one thing that's beneficial about marriage is that is your lifelong accountability person. Whoever your spouse is, that is the person who is your forever accountability.
Okay. Look at you trying to drop the bars.
What? It's true.
Okay. So I'm your accountability partner.
You are. You are. Listen, Free has saved this child right here. Okay. All right. Lots of times. Okay, he has had to pull me back and have conversations with me to make me fly high and not fly low. But, you know, real talk, the thing about having an accountability partner is that they know your intentions. And I think that is amazing because sometimes we don't necessarily...
Well,
they should know your intentions. Yeah. But that's the one thing that, you know, I think... I love about, for one, our oneness is because we can always look at what the intent is. And two, the commitment in that, because it takes some serious dedication to that person to be an accountability partner. That is a lot of responsibility, because where that person falls short, you have to pick that up for that person. And I don't think a lot of people
see that like that.
And I know, but I think
outside of marriage.
Yeah, but even in friendships, you know what I mean? Like, when that person is falling short somewhere, it's your responsibility as that person's accountability partner, not to necessarily make right what they've done wrong, but almost in a way, you know, really still be by that person when they do need to make right for something that they've done wrong. Like, still be able to stand by that person and go through that time with them. You know, or even just where they are falling short, still be committed and staying there, you know. But sometimes it can get hard. It can get difficult. It might not.
Well, I think that's the hardest. Like, I think it's really difficult for men when it comes to that, a piece of that accountability partner pieces, because it's like this thing, it's like this iffy kind of like thing, this space where you want to be able to be there to hold your brother accountable, right? But it's not like accountable, because like when you're talking from one head of a home to another head, let's say, it's kind of like this ego thing could get in the way. So it's like, hey man, like, you know, that was wrong, or you know that's not right, you know, you should make this right, or like whatever it is, right?
Right.
And it's like this fine line where you don't want to come off like, I don't want to come off like I'm telling this man what to do and how to. Let's say he's having, you know, extreme problems in his home, or he's running his home the wrong way, or he's not doing. He's just totally off. You know, I think, but I think that's connected to also, and we'll touch on that afterwards. Just about how do you go about selecting who will be your accountability partner?
Exactly, which is why I said that's the part that takes commitment, because and the responsibility, because whoever you do choose to be, you know, on someone's accountability partner, that's going to take that dedication.
You mentioned something in the beginning too. You said something about knowing your intentions. Did you say that?
and really like knowing what that person's intentions are. Like, what is your goal? Where are we trying to reach? Because if I'm talking
about the person who's like stumbling.
That's what I'm saying. So what are their intentions? If their intentions is, I want to grow in this area, like, be my accountability partner. Like, if your brother came to you and was like, yo, I want to be a better husband to my wife, and I need an accountability person to help. You know what I mean? So now you know. So the intentions of this is for
me to know the intentions of my boy who wants to do better.
Exactly.
I'm talking about the other way, reverse. I'm talking about the person maybe who's stumbling, knowing the intentions of their accountability partner. So we don't have the ego issue now. You know, I'm coming at you, bro, because my intentions are to just look out for you. To help you as a brother, not to be trying to tell you how to run your house, tell you, you know, you're not a man, or tell me you're wrong. You know what I mean? No,
so see, in that, your responsibility, your role in that, this is in social work. Hi, my fellow social workers. We call this meeting a person where they're at and remaining strength-based. So it's not about you being someone that is going to point that finger and be like, that was wrong, you shouldn't have done that, you needed to do this. No, it's about meeting that person where they're at, because maybe they can only go as far as they grow, right? So you got to meet that person where they are in that relationship or situation, and then still be able to be strength-based, which is still be able to build that person up, and still be able to give that person maybe good advice without taking away from them, you know?
So it sounds like when I'm picking my accountability partner, I should pick somebody who's a social worker. Somebody who know what they doing.
No, because it doesn't always work out like that.
So what should I be looking for the most when I'm picking out my accountability partner?
So for me, that's why I ask, what are your intentions? Like, what are your intentions?
Because you ladies don't even have problems like us fellas that have accountability partners.
That's not true. Because here's the thing, right? So
ladies be holding each other down.
That's not always true. Because here's the situations I find myself in, right? Out of my close circle, as of right now, I'm the only one that's married. So when my single girlfriends have those single issues that's going on, sometimes it's hard because when it's that whole relationship thing that's working out, they're still coming from those single thought processes. But because I'm married and I have a different thought process now, sometimes depending on, like, their intentions might be different, you know, from my thoughts in that way. Or even the whole marriage thing, right? Like, I can't go to, you know, now my close married circle girls, right, and tell them how to be a wife. Well, if you want your husband to do this, then this is what you need to do, you know, or you're not doing this enough, and that's why your husband isn't acting, you know, like this or doing this. So you do have to be careful, because the thing is that we're treading lightly when we're in someone else's home. You know, whether it's the marriage home, whether it's the single home.
So you feel that pressure, you feel the strain, or the, I don't know what's the right word, pressure, strain, anxiety. But you feel whatever that uncomfortable thing is, even in your dealings with being an accountability partner for other female friends of yours?
Absolutely, because it's easy to offend someone.
You're right.
It's very easy to offend someone.
I feel like it's just easier to offend guys.
I don't know. You know what? I don't necessarily think it's easier to offend guys. I think because guys are more likely to be upfront with their feelings versus females. Like, sometimes if it's our girlfriend, we'll be like, you know what, that hurt, but
you're saying
we might not say.
You're saying it's not easier to offend guys because they're upfront? No.
I'm not saying that it's not easier to offend guys. I'm saying maybe it's not the word. So maybe offend is wrong. I think maybe guys can be more direct versus females. It's that female to female relationship. Like, some females,
and because they're being direct, it could come off as offensive.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So we do have that where we can be offensive. Are we going to be as direct to say, ouch, that hurt when you said that? No, we'll hold it until that glass of wine comes up, or until like 6 months down the line and something comes up, and then that thing kind of spills out, and we're like, you were holding on to that? Why didn't you tell me? Or that we could have been fixed that. You know what I mean?
So this brings me to my next idea. So, I mean, is it a bad idea for a male to have a female accountability partner, and a vice versa, a female to have a male accountability partner?
I don't think so. I think that's a good idea.
I mean, because obviously sometimes you're going to have sometimes you might have gender specific issues. Right? So clearly you could see a need or a scenario where you should, if you're going to have opposite sex accountability partner, you should also have more than one.
I'm such a situational person.
You should have more than one, right?
I'm such a situational person.
I'm giving you the situation. Like, let's say a male situation. Like, I'm a husband. Right? If I have like a close female friend, of which I do have some good female friends, and I have, let's say, an issue with my marriage, or I'm struggling as a husband in that role specifically. I don't think there's much, not that there's nothing, but there's probably not much that female friend, especially if she's not even married herself, could speak to me, I think, in assisting me as a husband.
Right.
I mean, would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think more so.
But all things that are not like specific like that scenario.
This is why we are intentional when we look for an accountability person, because we're looking for someone who is doing better in this area to be able to help us get to where they are.
I love that. Did y'all hear what she just said? Say it again.
So,
what are we looking for?
I don't know. What did I just say? I do that a lot. I do that a lot.
So that's when the Holy Ghost is talking. See that?
I do.
The Holy Ghost shut your brain off.
For real. And then I'll be like, I said something good. What was it?
When you're looking for somebody who's doing better than you.
Right, so they can
not in everything, but in some places.
The blind can't lead the blind.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go looking for an accountability partner.
A pacer.
Pacer
is what it's called.
Who has had several failed somethings, right? So like, I want to grow, I want to have a billionaire business, and I'm going to ask someone who has not had one successful business to be my accountability person. Yeah. No, I want to go.
I mean, not to say that there's not wisdom that can be found in failures.
But I was just about to say, I want to have the accountability person who has had the failed business and who has had the successful business, because I know there's going to come failure and success. So I want to know you can carry me through that failure and you can carry me through that success. If you can only carry me through that one area, then I got to look at, you know what, you might be a good person to come and talk to get this advice in that area, but I'm not going to look at that and look at you to be my accountability person in this situation.
I mean, what if there's somebody who's right level with you? They're not really doing better in anything. In fact, they're trying to like search God and find ways through the same things you are.
Right.
That kind of person,
so
you don't think could be your accountability partner?
So again, not that they can't be my accountability partner. We have two different, what's the intentions in us being the accountability person. Okay. I can't hold you accountable in the things that I'm struggling with. So if I if I know I'm good at prayer, and you're not so much, then we can still be accountability, but it might be, I'll be your prayer accountability person if you'll be my financial accountability person, because I'm not good with my finances.
That's good.
So we still can be, but it can't be in that same area.
Because the key word is
we can
be able to hold you accountable.
Right. It's something that I'm, you know.
The word inside accountability partner is accountable.
Right. Which is why I say I feel like accountability, I always follow that word with what's the intentions and like, where are we going with this? You know what I mean?
Because some people could find offense just in that, in knowing, just hearing, because I think in people's mind, right, accountability partner is an intimate thing. It's it's an intimate relationship, and you could have friends that you're close friends with,
absolutely,
but they can find out, or if they discover or know that you don't consider them an accountability partner, or if they find out, oh, you went to someone else instead of coming to them to be your accountability partner, they could be offended by that, but not really seeing that having a close friend or a best friend is something.
You might need to check your friends.
No, I'm saying it's something separate from an accountability partner. Like,
exactly.
Like I have accountability partners that are not my best friend.
Right.
Or I think I've had in the past that are not even my close friend.
Which I actually think is better. Because I also need someone who's not going to look at, and that's the part too. Your accountability person isn't always going to be that best friend. Because there's those things where like, I'm going to want somebody to not necessarily hold back because they're looking at the friendship. I don't want to ruin this friendship. Let me, girl, you're not doing, no, I need somebody to say, you don't want this that bad. That's really what it is. And me to also be able to look at this person.
You know what I love about that? I love, because I don't want to forget it. Sorry to cut you off. That trait right there, because you want someone to be able to tell you, you don't want them to hold back because of the friendship. I think one of the people I consider an accountability partner, I have several, and I consider them also a close friend. You know, a person in my inner circle is Ro, Rojen Miller. And what I love about our relationship as friends is that he has no problem telling me I'm trash. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. I mean, not in a literal sense, but telling me about myself, whether it's an idea, whether it's something or a way I'm doing something. Right. And it goes right back to your earlier point, is knowing the person's intentions. Exactly. Because I know the intentions of him,
and saying that because he knows where he might say
he might say something that to somebody on the outside listening in might be like, oh dang, that's messed up.
You gonna let your boy say that?
It won't faze me that way or ruin that relationship because I know where he's coming from, right? Exactly. And how you said he knows where I want to go. Exactly. Wow, I like that. Exactly. I like how that just came out. Yeah. He knows. I know where he's coming from. Yeah. And he knows where I want to go.
Because the whole point of having an accountability person is to grow.
That's fire. Yeah. I'm
hashtagging all these. You can't go where you won't grow. I gotta put these in the book. You got to have somebody who's willing to go, who's already gone there, to help you go there so you can grow. Like, you got that. It all has to be
or
a
not
part
even,
of that
or not
process.
even, or not even already has gone there, because there's directions I wouldn't go where there's accountability partners of mine who haven't been necessarily there, but because they know where I want to go, they could even help me in just practicing healthy behaviors or things that will increase my odds of getting to where I want to go. Even if they've never been there themselves, them not having ever been there could be just because they're not interested in going there, not because they tried and failed.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
That's true. Again, I think that again is situational. It depends on what you're trying. Like, for someone who is trying to get into the music industry.
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't necessarily been in the music industry, but there's been something else that has opened a doorway for, them being successful in that works to get you in that way. So I get that part as well. You know what I mean? But that's why I'm saying either way, the goal is that they have gone somewhere that it's worked for them, that I see where I can get those jewels from, where I know I can ask those questions and get those answers. And this isn't someone that's going to be afraid to really stay with me on this journey and help me get there. And when I want to stop, still be able to push me, remembering why I asked them, which is why I think that it's such an important conversation. It's such an important conversation.
I think we effectively isolated what's the food in this topic of the accountability partner. What's the takeaway? Where's the edible piece in this segment of Free Lunch with the Real Free? As it pertains to accountability partners, you want to find somebody who you trust and know where they are coming from.
Yes. Yep.
When they approach you.
Yep.
And they know where you want to go.
Yes.
I think that's important.
Yes.
I think that's, if you had to put it in a sentence, what do I need to look for in an accountability partner?
Absolutely.
I think that sentence will be perfect. Right
Absolutely.
on the head.
Because some of us find out we really need a therapist. Or we really need something else. And before we get to that step, like, there are people I have had to tell, I can't be your accountability partner, because before you can even start this process, this is what needs to happen, or you need to get this done.
Okay.
It's a conversation, definitely.
I love it, guys. Till next time, again, it's Free Lunch with the Real Free. It's free food for your soul. Make sure y'all follow us everywhere at Free Lunch. That's FRII Lunch. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube.
All social platforms.
At The Real Free. Everywhere. Peace.